Oh, there's literally a button that says "Go Live."
There we go. There, and now it's loaded.
And now there's a live counter timer thing going on there now. Okay.
All right, let me get out of
Yeah.
the All right. Check Maria. Because yeah, I'm just checking. Are you intentionally super zoomed in?
No, like I'm trying to fix that. I don't know what that.
I think that scene that's set up in a different way. That's all. It's like, wait.
I don't know why it's super zoomed in all of a sudden.
Yeah, like it did the flash that it usually does before a scene change. So check your scenes.
Yeah. And because the thing is, in the preview section, everything looks fine. And then when I click transition, it's all zoomed in.
Where? Let me see. So your scenes. What do we got for scenes?
I have Discord Reactive, which is what allows for dialogue to our little profile pictures to flicker, dim and lit when we're talking.
That's your short list.
Yeah. I have List, which is this little Excel list thing here to show people the different characters I'm going to be drawing. And then Window Capture, which is capturing Clip Studio. And then Live Music, which should be playing some Pokemon soundtrack stuff, if you can hear that.
I can, but I have it muted because I...
Yeah, you don't want it echoing, I get it.
Okay. So, those are your sources.
Oh, my scenes! My scenes are... I have Scene, which is... I think that's a dead one. Live Soon, which is my... I use that when I'm not streaming yet, but I put it up there. The Crisis Recording, which always gives me problems, and then something called MR. I think that was for when I was trying to stream Marvel Rivals and it didn't work.
Yeah. Click through those. I want to see if they what we're dealing with on those.
All right, I deleted the.
I feel like some, and then I'm like, wait.
Okay, I'm gonna transition. Yeah, when I transition to other ones, like when I switch to Live Soon, it's also super zoomed in.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I'm checking. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's what I'm here. Okay. All right. Weird. Honestly, it's not terrible as a problem. I guess you could just edit it in your canvases. Honestly.
Huh?
Just see about moving these things around in your on your canvas.
Okay.
Like, so figure out how to. What I would do is to start moving around these images just to get them positioned where you want them. You know, change the size of them there from your sources. So. Okay, again, the list is bigger.
So the thing is I don't know what it is. I'm trying to adjust things, and they're not showing up in the order that they're supposed to in the thing.
Right.
Like, I'll send you a screenshot right now of how wonky this situation is. I'm sending it in the stream chat.
Figure.
Like, look at it. The profile pictures are right there hovering over my thing, but then when you look at it in the program, they're off to the side.
There we go. Okay. So this is because we changed the resolution. All right.
Oh, okay.
But so your act. Trying to think.
I started the stream again. It's proportioned, I guess, at this point.
Okay. All right. Honestly,
this will have to do, I guess.
yeah. I was like, I think I'd cut down to just the page of the art, but yeah, would give you a little more space, but yeah. Okay. Alright. Okay, it's no longer super zoomed in, at least.
It is still super zoomed in. It's just I have shrunken everything.
Yes. And that's fine. At least or at least, I reckon that's probably not the best for working with it, but it is a lot more. It is. There we go. All right. Yeah. Okay, this works. All right, you're looking good.
Okay.
All right. Okay. All right. Happy arting.
Thanks.
I'll be back in a bit. I'm gonna edit my Metamorpho video, and then I'm going to read Tom King's latest Black Canary.
Okay.
It's not bad. The problem is every other character is more interesting in this. Actually, no. Sorry. The two characters who do the most speaking, the fight commentators, are the most interesting characters in this,
Gotcha.
which is the problem.
Tom King
Like-
not knowing how to write a female protagonist? What are the odds?
Yeah, no, like I was like Tom King's not like he is a competent writer. He's very good technically as a writer.
Yeah, his plottings are good.
Yeah, his plottings are good. His, like I love the Detective Chimp issue of his Wonder Woman run. Got all this Columbo aesthetic going on. It's great. Problem is, that was the best issue of his Wonder Woman run, and it's all about Detective Chimp.
That's the thing. Tom King cannot write women.
Yeah.
He cannot write a woman to save his life.
Yeah. Oh my god. I'm like, did they give him so many women books to write to let him practice? It's really bad. Yeah. And then there's the whole I'm like, Tom King has managed to go from CIA, working with the, with a rightward government to destabilize other nations, to probably a liberal. He's definitely managed to move. He's moved into a better position as a person. Just not fully realizing. He hasn't realized the other stuff he needs to realize.
He's turned into Tom Taylor.
Yeah, pretty much. Where I'm like, look, generally speaking, I think I would get along with both of these men.
Well, I would hope Tom King is at very least a social person, considering how much work he gets.
Yeah, right? They both seem, generally okay dudes, They just... I will say, Tom Taylor, I think, has been writing better.
Yeah.
I don't know, his tech run is alright.
His Suicide Squad book was good, even if it wasn't actually a Suicide Squad book.
I'm enjoying, I think, yeah. My whole thing about him sanitizing certain characters, where I'm just like, and I'm like, he's letting Batman make some bad decisions, but also, cleaning up Batman's beliefs, where I'm like, okay, fine,
I still laughed that that we immediately backtracked on the Batman is rich, Batman is poor now subplot as soon as the next writer took over.
Yeah.
Batman has all his money. Okay, so DC Batman writers are so allergic to the idea of keeping any of the continuity the last writer worked in.
I will say, from what I remember, okay, so Tynion left him without money. And I believe it was actually, and then most of the Zdarsky run, he is without money.
Okay.
And then he gets his money back at the end of the Zdarsky run.
Gotcha.
It was a Zdarsky comic where he got it.
Gotcha.
Also, so not terrible. Honestly, my problem is the fact that we're about to do Hush 2. The Batman comic to do Hush 2.
My friend, a friend of mine DM'd me saying, "Hey, so Hush killed the Joker." It's fucking Hush. Hush is the one who kills him.
Seriously, that was terrible. I was literally on so I follow Alex Jaffe on Blue Sky. Which has been fun, and I ended up in a thread with him for a bit. He was talking about he had said that Hush, for all its acclaim, is kind of a nothing burger of a comic.
Oh, absolutely.
I was like, I'm like, yeah, like I played the Arkham games before I read Hush. And Hush in the Arkham games, he's like you've got this plastic surgeon who wants to take over Bruce's life. Mm-hmm. The life that Batman has largely abandoned. I'm like, that's cool. And Jeffy was like, yeah, leave it to Paul Dini to try to make something out of nothing. Like,
yeah, all that stuff of him trying to steal Bruce's identity, that's from later stories. That's not even from Hush.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, and then he literally described a Paul Dini story about Hush. I think it was Heart of Hush that takes place while Batman is, Omega beamed into the past.
Yep.
Where he does just start spending all of Bruce's money. I'm like, that's the Hush I wanted. I'm like, that was what I thought I was getting.
Yeah.
Because that's cool. I'm like, cool. So like, rather than a dark Batman, a dark Bruce Wayne, that's cool. But then this weird ass thing of like, why did he have to be a plastic surgeon if he wasn't gonna do plastic surgery? Like, well, I was like, I'm like, it's so much, just like, and someone had asked him on, not gonna lie, why are they doing Hush 2? I'm like, considering also.
There's already a story literally called Hush 2. This is not Hush 2, this is Hush 5.
Yeah, right. But also, there's a number of other Hushes here. It's like, like all those other ones, which weren't numbered. But his response was, because the editor-in-chief and chief creative director and publisher of DC Comics is Jim Lee. It's like, yeah, Jim Lee's the boss, and Jim Lee was the penciler on Hush, and the penciler on Hush 2. The good news is, apparently Hush 2 is very short. Because we already know that there's going to be a new Batman #1 coming out with Matt Fraction writing it.
Ooh, okay, I'm very excited for Matt Fraction.
And the suit looks amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I am, like, very, like, yeah. So, like, yeah, Matt Fraction writing Batman with a fantastic new suit. Like, I'm like, yes, okay, cool. Like, could Hush 2 have been a mini? Can we skip to Matt Fraction?
Yeah, why couldn't this have just been a mini, like a self-contained thing?
Yeah. I get these. Batman #1 by new ongoing creative team, Matt Fraction and Jorge Jimenez.
Oh, nice! I like that guy too.
Yeah. Yeah, they're like, yeah. I'm like, that's a cool team. Like, the art looks good. His symbol is gonna be blue, and his cape is gonna be blue. So that's gonna be interesting.
The blue and blue era.
Yeah, no, well, like, so his suit will be gray with, like, yeah, like, he's got these, his, so I have a unofficial way of codifying Batman to Black Cowl or Blue Cowl, and it is unfortunately completely does not really work. Okay, so the reason I have this, right? So you remember the Batman, the Brave and the Bold TV show?
Yeah.
Right. That is my quintessential blue cowl, right? The cartoony, fun, kid-friendly, thing, right? 1960s Batman, live action, Adam West. Blue cowl, right? Many of his Justice League, appearances, right? but the thing is that that like it doesn't actually follow as a way of predicting anything.
Nope.
Because fucking what's it called? Dark Knight Returns. He wears the blue cowl. And Lego Batman, he's got a black cowl, but he is. Those ones I almost count as like inversions where they're trying to comment on it, sort of, but no. At the very least, Lego Batman counts for that. You know, Lego Batman, it's blue cowl Batman lampooning the seriousness of black cowl Batman.
Yeah.
But it also, really doesn't match up. But for me, I'm just like, no, that is my unofficial rating system that doesn't really hold up at all. Right? But yeah, no, I'm like, I think that would be very cool if we could have that color coding so I could know what to expect, but we won't.
This is my complaint when I see people bring up, oh, the movie is said to be inspired by Batman Year One or Long Halloween. It's like, no, it's not. That's just marketing for we didn't include Robin in this.
Yeah. Yeah, like, I will say that, like, there are quite a few plot points in the 2022 Batman movie that are very much Long Halloween. Alright? But also,
The thing
like,
is that the idea of Batman working with, like, a Silence of the Lambs style situation has been done outside of Long Halloween. It's not Long Halloween exclusive to do Batman does story with a supervillain who gives him clues to another villain's like, Batman solving clues based off the leftover by a villain is not Long Halloween exclusive.
that is, in fact, just actually just being a detective. Sure. Yeah. Like,
I take it you do have somewhere you need to be, though, right?
literally, not really. I just, like, technically speaking, I have an episode that posts tomorrow, or I have a review that posts tomorrow anyway. So, like, I have a buffer.
Yeah.
You know? So, like, honestly, if I'm just waiting here until, like, helping you chit chat while we do while this gets done until Miranda gets on, you know, because she's apparently having some trouble at the
Airport, yeah.
Oh yeah. But yeah, no. You know, I'm fine.
Okay.
Like, tomorrow the Parktacular review posts. Yeah.
That is definitely, in my opinion, your best review yet.
Oh, definitely. I went into much more work than I usually do. Even if it is just dropping a whole other video in there.
I am a sucker for that. You reference a line that you said in a previous video for comedic relief. You are going to get me laughing my ass off whenever you do that. That is such a sucker for honey.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh crap, I have to. I'm literally obligated because I read something. I was curious enough to read something else. God damn it! It's like, I'm like, I'm finally gonna be a harsh critic. I'm gonna give this an F. God damn it! It did psychic damage to me. The other day, I was like, when I opened up my laptop and James Joyce was staring at me in the face, I was literally like, how bad can the rest of it be? I should read that. Just Not, you know what? We're live, so at the very least, I don't have to. All right, like not like, and completely forgetting that it included the lines, "You have an ass full of farts, and I fucked them all out." Like,
Is that Harley or is that Joyce?
Joyce.
Wow.
Yeah. It is absolutely filthy.
At least we know
Like-
Joyce loves anal.
The line from that, like, it literally, like, the lines that are in there that are in the comic are the tame ones. I'm just like, holy shit. Like, I'm like, I have learned far more about James Joyce than I ever wanted to.
What do you think of
Like-
my color choices here?
I like it. Ooh, I like the yellow trim on the cape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is very Captain Marvel, but he doesn't own the copyright to gold-trimmed capes.
Right now, it's very Captain Marvel because it's a white cape.
Right, that's true.
You know, like, honestly, I feel like we are not like touching the vast like options of capes.
Definitely.
Like, Batman would be the only blue cape I can think of. Like, I was like, literally, I'm like, I think Power Girl needs a blue cape.
Ooh, okay, I'm very game.
Have you seen? I want you to look up Power Girl's Justice League Europe costume.
I think I've seen it.
She has
'cause
two
I
of
read
them. I'm
parts of
specifically
them.
referring to her blue costume from it.
I love her blue costume.
Like,
That sweatband she has on it is very nice. She's got a.
I see a
truck.
yellow costume.
Yeah, she has a yellow costume, but she also has a blue.
Oh,
costume.
okay, yeah, I'm seeing the. Yeah, okay, I'm seeing a lot of blue there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's got this nice diamond boob window. It's a really solid look for her.
But yeah, like her, like her gloves are blue, her boots are blue. Like, she's got a like. I'm just like, just give her a blue cape. You know?
Mhm.
I am, yeah, so I didn't read far enough into JLE to get the, to see that
Gotcha.
version of it. So I have an interesting theory about the upcoming, Supergirl book.
Yeah.
So the upcoming Supergirl book, Supergirl returns to Midvale, and there is another Supergirl there.
Mm-hmm.
Who is doing her job, and they get into a fight. I want that other Supergirl to be Linda.
Okay.
I have a whole idea for what I would do to update Linda for the modern age.
Because I don't think Linda's original 2000s Angel thing works that great as in the modern age, because there's no way Linda is ever getting her own book at this point. Linda is, like, if they're ever going to have Linda show up, it's going to be exclusively as a referential, hey, remember Linda? She was a thing, or, hey, we've got Linda hanging out for an issue or two of this story.
Yeah.
And so, because of that, there's no way to do Angels in a Superman comic, or in a Kara Supergirl story, because they just don't have anything to do with angels. That's not their thing. They aren't tied to Christian mythology of any kind like Linda was. So I think that Linda should instead be tied to Kryptonian mythology, and she should be going by Flamebird.
Interesting. That's a cool option. See, for some reason, my thought was let's just put her in a Wildstorm adjacent book.
Well, of course, you want the Wildstorms idea.
honestly, I like. Okay, so here's my thing, right? I'm thinking about it, right? Literally, came up with this while you were talking. All right. So because in Wildstorm, at one point in their continuity, a portion of the population were descendants from aliens called Cherubim, descendants of Daemonites. Angels and demons in Wildstorm were aliens.
Oh.
So yeah, just like, well, yeah, she's yes, she is related to angels and also aliens. Yeah, I believe Zana Zealot is actually a cherubim.
They
The whole thing.
connected her over
I
with
don't know
the.
much about her.
They connected her over with the Amazons in her recent appearance in Birds of Prey. Recent, I think the story was about a year ago now. Which I really liked, honestly. I thought it was an interesting way of fleshing. Honestly, yeah, I think the idea of like, let's just take the existing characters and just sort of tie these Wildstorm characters over into it. So the Wonder Woman character has a new Amazon tribe that's hanging out from the Wildstorm universe.
Because that's what Zealot's tribe was. The Coda are the Wildstorm equivalent of the Amazons.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So like her whole thing of like I can't kill the Amazons over there and making that whole thing a thing. Yeah. Sorry, Wiretap.
What?
One of the one of my smart speakers happens to have a fake word be the word for for women from Themyscira.
Gotcha. Oh, I get it. I understand.
That's why I called it a wiretap. Yeah, no. But yeah, like, so yeah, I like the idea of like kind of bridging them, merging them just a little bit, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I like how Zealot is. Yeah, Zealot is a cherubim who then created the Coda centuries ago, and they inspired the myth of the Amazons. And on Wildstorm Earth, here they would be basically, God damn it!
This is why I don't own one of those.
Yes. Honestly, I'm not getting the next version, because the next version includes generative AI and they're more talkative. I don't care. I just want them to turn on my music and turn on my lights with voice commands. That's it. I don't want to talk to them. Like, I just want to be able to set up a couple of different things that when I say bedtime, my rainstorm sounds go off. Right? Yeah. But yeah, no, like, so yeah, I love the idea of merging the two in certain ways. Although the recent Wildcats book had an interesting way of doing that. Because it started with that exposition, and then it immediately revealed, yeah, that is just Grifter lying to people.
That they're Amazons?
No, that the Cherubim and the Daemonites and all that whole thing. Grifter kept on giving various backstories that like for things, and every one of them was an Elseworld. Kept on lying to people. He's like, yeah. So then Dick Grayson became the king of the vampires, and we all. And then later he ends up world hopping, and it turns out that the version of Grifter in DC versus Vampires is the version of Grifter that previously lied and said that he was from the world where Dick Grayson was the king of the vampires. Like, yeah. So, yeah. I like that. I love that. It was very meta, but it was very funny. Like, it was like perfect. It was very like it's like yeah, Grifter lies about everything, and his lies actually are just alternate realities he doesn't realize. Like yeah, like Grifter missed his opportunity to write comic books apparently. Like, yeah, it's, that was, oddly, that is one of my most valuable single issue comic books. League of Comic Geeks actually has a thing where it'll tell you how much your issues are worth.
Mm-hmm.
And the single biggest growth I have is from that is my Wildcats #1 from 2022 that I bought for $4 and is now worth $16. The problem is it also tells me these are how much your things are worth, but also like I'm like, okay, but like my hardcover copy of The Last Ronin, it being worth $21 is great, but it also costs $30. Like that's actually not the highest. Like I'm not necessarily interested in. I'm not in on speculation on these. Like that's not why I collect comic books.
Yeah.
All right. I fully intend to sell them all before I die, but it's a later thing. You know, or sell many of them before. You know, maybe it is likely that perhaps someone in my future will inherit a collection worth several $1,000s that they didn't buy anything. Yeah. But like, yeah. That turns out that one was worth it. Yeah. Who'd have thought? It's only got a mostly positive review, honestly. But yeah.
All right, I think this one's done.
It looks good. I like it. Glossy.
Yeah. All right. Now to.
Yeah, your art has really come along.
Thank you.
Yeah, when you first started, there was like, despite the fact that it was 2D, right? Like, it had this. It had this 3D effect that didn't look particularly good. It very much looked like colored over models. Now it looks like, you know, like an intentional 2D image, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You have grown quite a lot as a artist. It's really, really simple. Now, the question is, what type of Batman are we getting? Blue Cowl or Black Cowl? But yeah, the gaming, the thing is, because I'm only a manager on Comics Off the Shelf, I cannot actually stream 2 comics off the shelf.
Oh, you
I
can't?
stream in. No, but it streams to. It does stream to Werewolf Teacher.
Gotcha.
So my stream over there is
I wasn't
But
aware that you couldn't stream to the channel.
That's fine. But I have to have something on my channel. I accidentally streamed my I accidentally posted my my comic haul this week to that, and I actually got comments.
Oh, nice.
Most of them calling me Steve from the Minecraft movie.
You do kind of look like Jack Black.
I do. I have been getting this for 11 years. I started as a substitute teacher, and I was fat and white, and so literally every day, Jack Black.
Yeah.
I was called Jack Black every day. I'm like, one day there will be a day where I'm not called Jack Black, and that day the world will end. Yeah, like which is weird. In School of Rock, he is clean shaven.
That is true.
God, I hate clean shaven era of Jack Black.
I love School of Rock. That is one of my all-time favorite movies.
I do love School of Rock.
What?
I just I said I just think it would be better with Jack Black with a beard. Honestly, I think I'm projecting my own issues of my face without a beard onto him.
My only gripe with people who wear beards is their refusal to trim the stash so it's not covering the lip.
Yeah, I know. I gotta do that. I always do it before dates.
I had a roommate who had a big old beard and stash and everything, and it covered over his lip, and he never shaved it, and it was just like, it always bothered me.
Yeah, no, I will say it does make eating disgusting. Because the food follows with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Makes me think of Sneaky Beard from Kids Next Door.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely see that, yep. Yeah. Yeah, no. But, yeah, no, so for years, I was called Jack Black. One year, I did have a student who decided to riff on that and called me Blackjack.
Did you then go and dress up as the Dr. Blackjack?
I didn't know that was my only connection with Blackjack is the card game.
There's an old manga from back like the 70s or 80s called Blackjack, which is about a doctor. So pretty good, honestly. So he's like a super illegal, like, he's a vigilante doctor.
Honestly, we need a vigilante doctor in something or other. Like,
it's basically he gets brought on to do a job that's like the people involved can't go to a regular doctor because they're like criminals or like other people, and so they go in and hire Blackjack to come to them. And it's some remote place like in the middle of like a frozen mountain or something, and there's like some shady criminals, and like somebody's gonna try and double cross try and kill them, and Blackjack has to save the day at the end.
I freaking love crime doctors. Like that to me is super cool. I would love it if the story from Batman and Robin would actually progress and be allowed to have what's going on. Right now, Robin is interning at the hospital, trying to connect to his grandfather, trying to have an emotional connection to Thomas Wayne's profession, right? And Batman is like, you're shirking your duties. Why are you like this? And Robin is literally talking about possibly quitting Robin, and has been hanging out with this doctor who Batman thinks is a bad guy trying to manipulate him, and he's like, can't he? And I'm like, can't he just be a mentor figure, right?
Oh, I've been wanting Tim to become a doctor for years.
Well, this is Damien. I'm like, I think it'd be very Damien is like is thinking about this, and I'm like, I think it'd be super cool actually if Damien quit being Robin for a year or so and got some medical training and then came back as Robin, but as a Superman.
That's what I want for Tim. That's what I've always wanted to have happen to Tim. I wanted Tim to go off and become an intern under Dr. Midnight and Ted Cord and become like a freelance forensics analyst who travels to various travels to other vigilantes who who don't have the experience or super bat technology. Like, they don't have their own bat computer at home, so he's gonna come over and bring up his own bat computer to go and help them out.
Yeah, I think it was Absolute Power actually codified one of my favorite things that exists. For the record, that Batman has Kryptonite Scalpel.
I mean, yeah, that's absolutely something he should have.
Right? Like that is like the one piece of kryptonite he actually should have. What if Superman needs surgery? A kryptonite scalpel would be great. Like, yeah. What if his super appendix bursts? Like, all right, give me that, right? But like, honestly, for me, that is my ideal speedster hero, right? One of my many OC heroes is a speedster who does not give a damn about fighting crime. I love that. One of the things I love about My Hero Academia is it gave us two distinct paths for heroes. Mm-hmm. You have combat heroes, the ones who fight bad guys, and you have rescue heroes. Right? Your paramedics as superheroes. And I'm like, yeah, what if you had a Flash who didn't give a shit about crime? Who's just like I'm just like run in, grab civilians, save them, you know? Like, oh wow, you're bleeding really quickly, but I am faster than your heart is pumping, so ha. Alright? But also, like, I like this strongly looking Batman who's got going.
He's a little too strongly. I'm gonna have to fix that. But
he does. I will say, look. Like, this is leaner than he's usually drawn. But also, Batman should be. He's a stealth character.
He's stealthy. He's acrobatic. He's he should not be super bold.
Yeah. Like, yeah, this is, like it or not, this is the ideal male form. Just for peak performance.
I think my problem is his waist is too high.
Yeah, I think that might be it. So like, one of the ideas I had for this character was literally this idea of like, what if you had a Flash who just would show up at the Rogues meeting and be like, hey, so what's your what is your plan for this heist? Okay, you're gonna sink all of the banks in town and then rob them? Okay, all right, I'm going to evacuate all of the civilians the moment you do this. Like, I'm just gonna make sure that your bank robbery doesn't turn into 25 to life for murder. Doesn't turn into felony murder, okay? Like, he's like, I'm not gonna stop you. I'm not here to stop you. I'm here to save them. Alright? I'm here listening in on your plan right now, speaking to you. So I know where I gotta be to save people. Go about your business. Take however much money you want. I don't give a shit. You know? I'm like, does that technically make him an accomplice? Kinda.
Will they ever be able to catch him? No.
like, yeah, like, it's like, yeah, fine, accomplish, fine, but like, come on, we can, yeah. It's like, I'm saving lives here, and I'm not in, I'm, like, yeah, but, yeah, so that's always been one of the other designs I've had, OCs I've had, because I wanted a fat superhero, was to create was like, the easiest power to be fat and have is to have a Green Lantern ring. Why are all the Green Lanterns buff?
Yeah.
How much energy does willpower use? I mean, granted, I suppose they have the willpower to diet and exercise, but god damn it. So, which is why, actually, the other thing is with this OC, originally I came up with them during the Lazarus event, and I'm like, you know what, I can make them not have to be a Green Lantern, they don't have to have a ring. And now, actually, with this Fractured Lantern, it's even easier. Because people are manifesting powers without a ring. Mm-hmm. Right? The ring is just sort of a control thing. And I'm just like, yeah, this would actually work. Because character was they stepped into the Lazarus Reign, and it caused them to gain what they wanted most, being the power to protect people. Their Green Lantern powers only work for shields. They're also soft shields, like rubber padding type shields.
Okay.
Right? Making a cushion kind of thing, right? So, because this character cares about the people attacking them too. They don't want you breaking your fist against a wall. They want you to be okay. Right? Their weakness was is that their powers are so attached to their will to protect their students that it very much their self-sacrificing nature makes it so their shields aren't as effective on themselves.
Okay.
So they can protect everyone else. But they will still get beat physically. Yeah, it's like solid protection again for everyone I care about. Me? No, I'm not worth that. I like that. I also like that it's kind of thematic. I can protect everybody except me. I was like, yeah, and I ended up making this go full self-insert. This character, eventually, they were a teacher, Mm-hmm. But also, literally, because I'm like, what teacher wants not, what the teacher power fantasy is? The good teacher power fantasy, not the shitty teacher who uses being a teacher as a way of enacting their power fantasy. The good teacher power fantasy is actually being able to protect their kids in the event of a mass shooting. I was like, oh yeah, that's what this is. This is years and years of pent up anger at the inability of our lawmakers to help actually protect us from guns. So yeah, I was like, yeah, what if there was a supervillain attack and their powers suddenly manifested, protecting their students from falling rubble? And now you have to decide, what are you gonna do? First story I was gonna tell, I was gonna base off of, it was literally going to be gonna be straight up hero's journey, but with the caveat that he is actually giving a classroom lesson on the hero's journey. So like the narration boxes are him discussing the elements of the hero's journey as they're going on, and they would be like chalkboard themed.
Okay.
You know, mostly as a writing exercise to be like, how, like, you know, like, how do I freaking structure a story after years of not actually writing fiction? You know, let me just like give myself a very easy idea. I came up with a whole plot. It was great. Should write it. This is the problem. I don't have writer's discipline anymore. I don't think I ever did. But I'm gonna be right back.
Okay. Yeah.
Alright, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Oh, I'm rolling over my shoe. That was.
You've been a great co-host, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Co-host, tech support. All of the above. This is your first time using OBS for streaming?
No. I used to do this quite often, actually. I tried to be a VTuber, hence why I have all this set up for PNG tubing and all that, but I don't have the social areas to be able to host a stream by myself very well.
Yeah, neither do I. That's why I decided on the on Sidekick Gaming.
Yeah, I am not I'm not good at maintaining a conversation with imaginary people.
Yeah, really. Especially, honestly, I tried Twitch streaming for a bit. My problem was looking over and there's no one in the chat, and it's like,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh man, I'm like it's just I'm lonelier.
Yeah,
You know?
it just makes you feel
It-
more
you're-
lonely.
I'm like, this is lonelier than if I were playing on my own.
Yeah.
You know, being in an empty chat. Like, no. You know, so like, yeah, no, it's. So no ears on the emblem?
On his cow?
On his... No, on his chest.
Oh! Do they normally do ears on the... I guess they do sometimes.
I don't know, like, the standard emblem usually has ears.
I can do ears.
Nightwing's emblem typically doesn't. Nightwing's emblem sometimes looks left or right, sometimes doesn't have a head at all.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Not sure if that looks right.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
that
don't
looks a
know.
little better.
Yeah. Yeah, usually they're just sort of little, like, they're kind of like straight up. I don't know. Like, yeah, that's it. That's the ears. Yeah. Yeah. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's still. So, like. Like, yeah, I'm like typically like. Yep, I'm like, actually wait, I have a bat signal in my room right now. I'm like, yeah, like looks up, yep, there it is. Well, that's it.
I'm going for a dual dark color in this version of it. Because I really like the idea that the chest of Bruce's costume is bullet-plated and that he has the big bright bat symbol on it to direct gunfire over to it, so he can have a more flexible overall suit. And so I'm taking that into the color scheme of his design, so that the big dark blue is reinforced, while his the gray is cloth to allow for more flexible movement. Yes, that means that his jock is plated because, of course.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. No, like that. Why aren't all superheroes wearing athletic cuts? Like no, that having his groin be armored makes absolutely perfect sense. That is exactly where people are gonna hit. Like, I do like the idea of someone swinging a baseball bat at it, and it coming and it having just like the metallic twang as it hits it. Like, okay, now I've talked way too much about his junk. Ugh.
Not sure what his paint color is. Could just be gray like the rest.
Yeah.
Also, I love it when Batman has really long ears.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Long hair Batman was it was always a good look. Yeah, no. You know, I mean, I always love like there's a, but you know, like I have a couple, many of my minis, I have painted their that I painted. I paint the capes blue, and I use Prussian blue, and it comes out like this deep velvety, like gorgeous blue.
Okay.
And I'm like, yeah, that's the color. Like, which, for the record, I don't think particularly works for a Batman cape. But once again, for Power Girl, I think Power Girl with a blue cape, with a velvety blue cape. Yeah. Sorry, I just saw the Vulture article. Damn, it's Vulture. That's worse. Thought it was The Onion. It says Mr. Beast starts a new chapter as James Patterson co-author.
What did James
was
Patterson
like-
write again?
So many things. So many things.
I don't
A
read
lot
a
of
lot
crime.
I don't read a lot of like novellas or novels.
Yeah, no, they're thick. He writes big, thick paperbacks, usually crime.
Gotcha.
Very beach readery. Apparently, a lot of librarians and wannabe librarians who work at Barnes and Noble hate him,
Oh.
and apparently they're very sure that he uses ghostwriters. So for me, hearing Mr. Beast is going to be a co-writer on with James Patterson, I'm like, so who's actually writing this book? Like, literally, that's why I thought it was The Onion. I'm like, yes. The joke is that no one's writing this.
I don't think that's a wide enough reaching joke for most audiences.
I know. Yeah. But yeah, James Patterson is prolific. When I was a child, a late teenager, I very much enjoyed his Maximum Ride series, which is about a bunch of teenagers with wings. They were genetically experimented on. The first 3 books were great. The 4th book bludgeons you over the head with a global warming message, which I agree with, but also was just weird. You know, where it's like, this got preachy very quickly, and not in a fun kind of way. You know? Like, yeah, I couldn't even, like...
I think that's a solid color palette. It's very body armor.
Yeah. Yeah. Throwing some interesting lowlights in there. I'm like, yeah, okay. And now shading, that's the word.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shading, yeah, you'll do that. Yeah. Yeah. Barbara Gordon is going to sue him, though.
For?
I will say, on this end, the armored parts are coming off a little purple.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it comes off very purple, which, so
Yeah.
it's purple and yellow, and I'm like, Barbara Gordon's going to sue you.
Let's see if that fixed things.
Let's see. No, it's not, like, I'm not complaining. I think he should, in fact, copy more from the Batgirls. We need Batgirl Bat.
This one definitely feels like a Batgirl ad.
Yes. Actually, I'm just reminded of the. You know what? This would be. This is actually the future of the of the 2004 animated Batman.
Okay.
Remember that one? The Batman.
Yeah, no, that one was really good. That one had the Dracula inclusion.
Yeah, I love the Dracula movie. But also, like, the animation style was so cool, and yeah. But his first sidekick in that is not Robin, it's Batgirl, it's Barbara Gordon. And I'm like, this would be that future. And he was also thinner in the villain. Also, gotta say, that Joker was fantastic.
Oh,
and
I love that Joker so much. I want him to be like a thing, just a new character in the comics. Call him like the Jester or some other like
Legally distinct name.
yeah, right.
He's so different from core Joker. He could easily be his own thing.
I mean, like, and we've got a number of characters like that. You've got Prankster, and I'm trying to remember some others. There's a heroic version in the Heckler. Yeah. Yeah, I'm like, we could, like, yeah, he would be, he's so cool. I love his physicality.
Yes. I want him to be. I want every one of the Bat fam to have their own Joker of some kind, and I think he would work really well as Cassandra Cain's.
Yeah, okay.
Have him be just like he's so physically unpredictable that she can't really she can't read him.
Honestly, so one of the things I really liked about The Man Who Stopped Laughing, right? Where I'm like, it is so weird to me where like we have so many Joker haters in our friend group who love that story. And we're like, yeah, the Joker is a sad, pathetic man who manipulates other sad, pathetic men into becoming terrorists, and eventually there's so little left of them and they end up becoming just like him. Yeah. And they're so indistinct from each other. They have no discernible personality anymore. You can't tell if you're even dealing with the original one anymore. Like, I'm like, yes, the Joker is a system of abuse. Like, the Joker is the way is the things that men do to each other along the way. But like, I think it'd be like, yeah. Like, honestly, you could do a story a little like that, little bit of that, a little bit of Three Jokers, where effectively, like, members of his Joker gang end up, like, just thinking of themselves as the Joker, and they just branch out. This Joker explosion, you know? Yeah, no, like, but yeah, the 2024 animated Batman Joker is so, like, he's like a kangaroo, like,
yeah,
like he shows up to you and his knees are up to his chin.
And the dreadlocks are such a distinct look for him.
Yeah. Also, the story that show did with Clayface. That was nuts. That was such a cool, like, thing. Where you had this cop that he was allied with who had an accident and like I will admit they merged the stories of Two-Face and Clayface effectively, and it worked so well. I was like as I was describing them, I'm like, wait, that's Two-Face. That's Two-Face, but instead of a DA, it's a cop, and it's Clayface. But I'm like, it worked.
That was partial, that was a big reason for that was that they had like a moratorium on don't use the same villains that the original show did.
Yeah.
So they just wanted to do the Two-Face story again, so they did it with Clayface instead.
Yeah, it worked. And like, and then they did Solomon Grundy, but it was Clayface. Like, and then they're like, oh, but actually, he might still be real. Like, yeah, it was good. Like, it worked. It was solid. I enjoyed that, and I would have very much enjoyed it if it had ended up like in the last season. They set up him meeting other superheroes, and I honestly wish it had set up its own iterations Justice League.
They were clearly setting up a version of the Outsiders, is what they were doing, and I think that would have been a really cool direction for the show.
That could have worked too. I was hoping for an animated universe, despite the fact that I knew that when I watched it, it was well and past done.
Mm-hmm.
I watched it well after it had been, many years, decades after. But I was like, damn, this would be so cool if they had actually, like, Superman in that style was cool, like, but yeah, no, an Outsiders animated TV show would be really good.
Imagine if they did that as the premise for an Outsiders TV show, that it dovetails off of a Batman show. Like how the Justice League Unlimited show dovetailed off of Batman and Superman. You do like 3-4 seasons of a Batman show, and then by the end of it, they're like leading in, they're introducing a bunch of outsider characters, and then they end it, and then the next show that's like the season 4 show is Batman and the Outsiders.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, that I think would be fantastic. You know, you introduce like Katana and Black Lightning in the original Batman show in that 4th season, and then you get into Metamorpho in Batman and the Outsiders. Yeah, no, I think that could be very cool. The other thing I was thinking about recently was, because I mentioned the heckler, I was thinking about I love Mark Russell's writing, and One Star Squadron is still one of my favorites. One Star Squadron is a mini.
I'm aware of it.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites where it's like, you got all of these loser heroes working the gig economy, and Power Girl is the only one who's just like, I was like, I'm gonna be the new manager. I'm gunning for his job. Like, I'm gunning for Red Tornado's job. And he's like, I just want to make sure my people are taken care of, and dealing with Gangbuster just being let loose from the hospital because his insurance was up, and I'm like, the man is clearly unwell. Like, it was heartbreaking.
Alright, I think that's good.
Like, I was originally, actually, in one of the videos where you mentioned Gangbuster, I was going to use him. I was going to use One Star Squadron version of him. Instead, I decided to use his first appearance. But God, did I want to make it? That one was 8. That one with I recently purchased the hardcovers of his Superman Space Age and Batman Dark Age. Both fantastic also, and worth picking up. The Batman one ends in a way that I think every Batman wants Batman's story to end.
Yeah.
And it does not end like any Batman story ever ends. It feels so out of place, and yet it's perfect because it is exactly what he wants. It is exactly what Batman has always wanted. Do you mind if I...
Go right ahead.
So, so the crux of these is that they take place in sort of real time, and not really real time. Like there's a timeline rather. They take place over years, and the characters get old. But they also all the main character in both, well, not the main character, but the main antagonist in both of these, both of the age books, is Pariah. Because both of these worlds vanished in Crisis. But this one is, the framing device is, Bruce is in a nursing home in 2030, looking back on his life. And he is looking back at the events of his life, all of his whole thing. I told you about him serving in Vietnam. That's where he learned to be Batman. So working on basically the Suicide Squad under Ra's al Ghul, along with Oliver Queen. And you know, he founds the League, but like the League is always working on bigger things that matter more, you know. And then the League finds out that, hey, our world is going to be destroyed in 1984.
Hello.
So nothing.
Hello?
Hi.
Hey!
Hi,
Oh my goodness, sorry about that.
No problem.
I-
Knight's been doing a good job keeping me company in your wake.
Yeah. I was just spoiling the end of, and actually at this point the beginning of Batman Dark Age.
Oh.
But yeah, I was talking about how the Joker there is just a sad, empathetic man. Like, he doesn't do jack shit. He starts off his thing saving. He was a dishwasher. He saved up his money so that he could buy time on the open mic at his work and just make people listen to how sad he is. And everyone is like, wow, this guy's a great comedian despite him being objectively terrible. Like, they're like, wow, this guy's life is so sad, that's hilarious. And so he becomes kind of addicted to people laughing at his pain. And eventually Batman and Chase Meridian actually get him help. They open up Arkham Asylum, they work with people. He and Harley Quinn hit it off. And he's getting treatment. And then Ra's al Ghul burns the whole shit down. And things go bad. It's 1984. The world's about to end. Gotham is on fire. And he decides to do one last... And Joker decides to do one last thing. He has an open mic. Everyone's coming. And then he blows up his car in the impound lot next door. And they go to arrest him, and Dick Grayson ends up dying. And there's this fire, and Joker goes to reach for Batman's hand, and Batman pulls away and lets him die. And in the 2030s, Batman is looking at this as, and this is like the last thing Batman did was let the Joker die. And then there's this guy next to him this entire time who's been wheeling him around. Who's like, no, that's not what happened, dude. Because I'm the Joker. You saved me. You had Superman bottle the city, send it through a wormhole, saving it from Crisis. And you were there when I got out of rehab. You picked me up. Like, you helped me. Like, you actually saved me from being who I am. And I'm like, this is exactly why Bruce doesn't kill the fucking Joker. Because there is at least one Joker out there in the multiverse who, when given half a chance, actually managed to turn good. Because he is just a sad, pathetic little man who needed help. And yeah, so it turns out they're living in a bald city of Kandor. And they've been... Yeah, and Gotham is the city of tomorrow.
Huh.
And I'm
I
like...
will say, it's that if I had a nickel, every single time it was revealed that an Elseworld Gotham was just in some sort of preserved glass sphere state, I would have 2 nickels. And that's not a lot, but it's weird that it's happened twice.
Yes, that's true. I love that. Yep. 'Cause that's where Flashpoint Gotham is.
Yes, it is. Yes,
Actually,
it is.
no, it's not even Flashpoint Gotham. It's all of Flashpoint.
It is all a Flashpoint. But
Yeah.
it is specifically Gotham. Because
Yeah.
Bruce was not going to put the entire rest of that pocket timeline into that snow globe if his daddy wasn't also there.
Yeah, yeah. It's the yeah, but I'm like, wait a second. Actually, the Kryptonians are about to invade, right?
Everything changed when the Kryptonians attacked.
Yeah. Like, yeah, no, that freaking thing, that was ridiculous. But yeah, no, like, I love Mark Russell's writing. Like, and I'm ready for a Wonder Woman age book. It's the one last one,
It was announced, wasn't it?
huh?
It was announced, wasn't it?
You're the only person I've heard talk about it who may have announced it.
I could have sworn they announced it. God.
Like, yeah, like it was either Wonder Woman Golden Age, Wonder Woman Bronze Age. Honestly, you could call it Wonder Age. I'd buy it.
Well, the Age of Wonder is already announced.
Yeah.
Mark Russell, it was on Reddit.
Oh.
Hold on. Let's see if I can track down the original source, because Reddit is not always the best. Oh, okay, he did it in an interview. Yes. So he's been approved to do a Wonder Woman Golden Age with all reds on art.
Awesome. Because yeah, it had to be the All Reds, with like because they did the others.
Right.
And they're not like I will say, I don't particularly vibe with their art, but it has a very distinct charm to it. You know?
I think
But-
their art, like, read very well for what are supposed to be historical stories. Like, I
Yeah.
think it was a nice tie of modern sensibilities with sort of modern perceptions of what older art looks like.
Yes. Yeah. Like yeah, like it's one of those things where I'm like, yes, maybe not for me, but I will not deny that they have that they are absolutely talented, and that they are absolutely going at it with like an intent that works. You know, I have both of them now in hardcover. Like I love them, so like, yeah, like. I'm not gonna say, you know, no, boo to that whole thing. Yeah, I'm excited for it eventually. Whenever it comes. Complete the DC trilogy, yep. I wonder what they're gonna do with that, too. Like, there's so many ways they could go about it.
Well, based off of the name, I think it's going to be from like the 1940s on, so it's going to be a little bit before the other two.
Yeah, I think that probably makes the most sense.
And no matter what, the universe does end in like 1986.
Yeah. And that works because she is immortal anyway, you know? And, like, she also canonically fought in World War II, at least, you know. originally, you know?
I always felt like the perfect idea to blend, making her part of the same generation of heroes as Superman and Batman, but making the World War II stuff still happen, is just make that be what her mother was doing. Like, they kind of did that in the 2000s when they made her mom part of the JSA, but I would just make that canonically be the thing, that the Wonder Woman of World War II was Hippolyta. And then McCarthyism caused her to leave the U.S. Disillusioned with the idea that the man's world had any hope to it. And Diana's like, no, you can't give up the fight. And then she goes on and takes on her mother's place.
I love that. I also think that, given that, like, when Wonder Woman was on the JSA, she was their secretary, weirdly, right? Or for sexist reasons. I think it'd be hilarious if Hippolyta, now that she is a goddess, were to just give them a little auto, like, a little scroll that is just automatically taking minutes all the time. Like, I'm still doing my job, kind of. I've outsourced it to a magic scroll, but, you know.
Or she goes and she confronts them about how their period-typical sexism was not okay even in 1940.
Yeah, that works too. Yeah.
I will say one of the things that I really appreciate about Diana is, you know, out of Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, she fucking fought Nazis, and I love that in a superhero.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, I didn't ask. Is this a cursing stream?
Go right ahead. We curse on the. We curse in Crisis. We can curse here.
Okay. I just want to double check because, like, you can edit things out in Crisis that you can't really edit out live.
Oh, I never read out swears. I am wondering how I'm supposed to edit these fists. Because I decided this would be cool to draw Wonder Woman actually, like, blocking bullets. But then I realized this really clutters up the drawing.
I mean, okay, so I think it works, but I think you need to narrow the borders. So you need to, like, bring it in so that you're not seeing much more once you get past the fists, if that makes sense. Sorry, I have the stream pulled up on my phone so I can see what's happening.
Yeah, I'm currently watching the stream as well. I started just on the stream as tech support, really. Took a while for us to get the stream working.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
I had forgotten to actually click start stream on YouTube.
Yeah. The good news is it's nice and smooth, so, you know, those other things we did to optimize it also probably helped.
Yeah.
Like, turning down the resolution, turning down the frame rate, you definitely did not need 60 frames per second for
an art stream.
Yeah. Like, the thing is gonna stand still, it's fine. Like,
no, but that's why you can see multiple fists at once. She's actually moving, but we haven't told people this is actually an animation that Honey is creating. It's just the frame rate's so bad that it just looks like a still image with multiple fists.
yeah.
Okay, I know this isn't technically comic book related, but have either of you watched Apothecary Diaries?
No, I don't even know what that is.
Okay, so it started its life as a light novel, and then eventually some of it has gotten adapted into a manga, but it is also an anime, and we're currently in the second season, which already, what a rare beast, making it to a second season, goodness me, oh! But, it is a romance.
Talking comics, really?
No, but it is a romance, but it's also kind of a whodunit.
Okay.
So the main concept is Mao Mao is an apothecary's daughter who gets kidnapped and sold to work as a maid in like the rear palace. The rear palace is where all of the concubines are kept. And while she's there, she uses like her knowledge of medicine and also like science of the time period to help solve mysteries.
Okay.
Nice.
So I really enjoy it because it has this really wonderful understanding of emotional consequence.
Okay.
Yeah, so it has like a surprisingly nuanced look at like human emotion.
Okay.
Which is absolutely great. So, for example, one of the characters is he's kind of childish and he holds on to things, right? And the way that they set this up is like you see it like repeatedly throughout the show, and then eventually you get like that backstory of when he was a child, people just took things away from him. Like that was he was specifically raised to have things taken away from him. So if he had a favorite toy, it would be specifically taken away from him so that he didn't get too attached to things. And like they comment on it. They comment on that how that might develop into like an insecure attachment style in an adult.
Like, yeah. We don't get too attached.
It's really fun. It's a fun watch. The entire first season is both subbed and dubbed. If that matters to you, I prefer dubbed because
I'm a very dub only. Because I don't have the attention span to just sit and watch an anime. I have to have it play on in the background.
Yeah, I have this problem that happens when I'm watching subbed anime, which is I get so used to understanding things because I'm reading it that sometimes I check my phone and forget I don't speak Japanese.
I am lame, and so I'm very much like there is a cultural context thing, there is a tone to things, and I am not Japanese. I have never lived in Japan. I don't understand like the tonal context of someone delivering a line in one way, a line that I do not fundamentally understand. I can just read it, and then I'm left in a tonal quagmire. Whereas if I watch the dubbed version, then like I can understand if an actor does X with their voice, it's because they're trying to convey that the character is upset with what's happening.
Sorry, for a second I thought I just immediately jumped to my brain immediately went to the one anime which I have a complete box set of the DVDs of in my house. I think some of the DVDs may be too scratched to actually read anymore, which makes me sad. But also I don't know if I have anything that reads DVDs anymore. Black Cat, the anime, may actually be better than the manga.
Well, I should check it out then, because I remember watching the reading the manga and thinking, this is okay. It's nothing to write home about.
I loved the Black Cat manga, and then when I watched the anime, I'm like, okay, so they changed a couple of things to truncate the story, and they then capped off the story in a very interesting way that works.
Mm-hmm.
So the way they truncate it is, so in the manga, Train has been a bounty hunter for 2 years with Sven as his partner.
Yep.
Right? For 2 years. In the anime, Sven goes on a mission, and Train is Sven goes on the Eve mission, and Train is on an assassination mission to assassinate Eve.
And this just 2005's Killing Eve?
funny. But no. So, like, because she's a bioweapon and she's a, you know, and all that. So, like, they start off with, let's take the first very cool mission they went on, and let's just put them on opposite ends of it. And that's fantastic. And then all of the stuff with Creed and Saya happens. And he ends, and now he is a bounty hunter working with them and not killing. But he's on a, but it's all more recent. You know, and then the manga is 20 issues.
Mm-hmm.
The anime is 24 episodes. And the final episode of the manga, the final issue of the manga is episode 20 of the manga. They have 4 episodes at the end, which actually do make for a really cool climactic finale that just really works for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
This reminds me of Reborn, if you've ever seen that anime. Called Katekyo Hitman Reborn as the manga. They just shorten it down to Reborn. The manga suffers horribly from being, so the manga originates as a comedy manga, not as a battle manga. And
Okay.
most people who are, if there's anybody watching who knows manga but doesn't actually know genres, shonen is not a genre of manga. It is like a demographic manga. It's like calling something middle age for books. Battle mangas are one thing. Naruto is a battle manga. Bleach is a battle manga. Katekyo Hitman Reborn started as a slapstick comedy manga about this poor kid who keeps getting shot in the head with a magic bullet by a baby hitman who's trying to train him to be a mafia don, and thinks the way to do that is by putting him in life or death situations where he has to get shot in the head, reborn, and run around in his underpants as he solves dangerous problems.
Poor thing.
Yeah, it's very slapstick, very silly, and the premise of the humor is built entirely around the protagonist being a whiny baby child who's, like, very understandably not cool with anything that is going on right now. But
Why
that
are you
runs...
like a baby child? I would not be okay if someone was trying to groom me into dawnship.
Yeah, but also, so the manga, that part of the manga runs for like 50, 30 issues before editorial is like, hey, battle mangas are doing way more in our sales margins. Like Dragon Balls is doing great, Naruto, One Piece are doing hot commodities. You need to make this into a battle manga. And it's like, okay, well, at the very least, the comedy is action focused, and so we can kind of change it into being that. So we end up completely changing the focus of the series into a combat series, but it's still just combat as action. There's no like magic powers or super cool action things or anything. It's just sort of weird assassins for the mafia who are doing things. And then as soon as that arc is over, they're like, all right, you gotta include some, like, actual magic bullshit in this story, because every other battle manga in the market has magic bullshit in it. So...
He already has magic bullshit. He's being shot with a magical bullet by a baby assassin.
But we need more magic bullshit. And so, we get... so, one random throwaway joke in the series is the 10-year bazooka, which is a bazooka that if you shoot somebody with it, they swap places with their future self from 10 years in the future.
Oh my god.
It lasts for like 10 seconds or so. And only one person only ever uses it. Cause they're a literal toddler who shoots it to turn into their teenage self.
It's a nightmare.
The baby will actually... The baby has a big ol' afro, and he pulls the bazooka out of his afro, does not fit, hammer space logic, then climbs up
into the bazooka and uses a pull cord to pull the trigger of the bazooka to blast himself out of the bazooka.
He's a baby.
Yes.
Expect him to just reach it with his little arms.
Exactly. So they use the 10-year bazooka as a plot device to throw the protagonists 10 years into the future, where they are now introduced to the fact that apparently 10 years from now, we unlock even more magic bullshit, and we get an entire power system that has like different pros and cons and strengths and weaknesses and type matchups, and like everyone has like there's these box weapons which are just small boxes that you then shove your magic bullshit into, and they turn into whatever magic weapon was inside the box. And the thing is, I keep describing these massive changes in the structure and the plot, and like what is the nature of the story that we're telling right now. Because all that is happening in the manga, its pacing is terrible. It has just such bad pacing the entire time. But the anime...
I mean, I don't know why they needed more magic. Like, they already introduced the idea that there are magical guns in this universe. We could have just kept introducing magical guns.
Yeah, we could have. We have 10-year bazookas. We have the dying will flame, which is a bullet that you shoot out of a gun. And if it shoots and if you hit somebody, instead of dying, they are given life, death, like super strength to accomplish their dying will. So, like, if you died...
A magic system. It sounds like there was already a magic system. I don't know why they needed to add more.
But yeah, so because all this was happening...
That sounds fun.
But yeah, so
like,
because this...
the bullets, like, I would love to see what people are going to do with their dying will with this weird bullet.
So yeah, so the pacing of the story is absolutely terrible. I really like the series, but it's really bad pacing. The tonal whiplash of suddenly getting sent 10 years into the future, and now there's magic bullshit, and also the story is also being super rushed. So even though we have to be introduced to this new, completely different power system with rules and type matchups and bullshit, there's not enough time, and so halfway through the arc, they just keep getting like power upgrades over and over again because they accidentally made the villain too strong in the beginning, but then realized they didn't have enough time to like properly pace the conflict, so they had to like give the characters supercharged buffs over and over again so that they would match the strength of the broken villain that they created. The anime fixes all of that. The slapstick comedy portion of the show is condensed down to like 10 episodes. The 10-year in the future stuff, they slap in 2 filler arcs in it so that there's actually time to like decompress, figure out what the hell is going on in this world, and actually like give the characters chances to like train and improve so that their power upgrades don't feel bullshit. Yeah.
What was your first anime?
My first anime was Pokemon.
Yeah.
Okay. Both of you?
Yep, for me too. Probably also Digimon around the same time, which is interesting to me because like as a kid, I didn't it took me years after getting into anime to even realize that Pokemon was an anime.
Oh yeah, no, I only count it as my first anime nowadays because I'm an adult and I realize, yeah, that is an anime. It's from Japan. It's an animated production. I don't care if it was aired on Fox Kids. It was an anime.
Yeah, no. Like, what's also weird to me is like looking back. Like, I rewatched the first season a couple years ago, the Indigo League.
Oh, the Indigo League is really good, honestly.
Yeah, no, it really is. But I was like, I didn't realize how much Japanese culture was literally in this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh yeah, wait, yeah, And I'm like, wait, is this cultural appropriation? No, wait a second, they're Japanese. Like, literally, like, oh, right, yeah.
Cultural appropriation.
It took me a second, I'm like, wait a second. No, they're literally Japanese. Yes, they're fine. Like, I love the sorry, I'm looking at your design. I kind of really like this image of it's just the bracelets moving.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty. Oh, my first anime was Ouran High School Host Club. I did not watch any anime until I was a sophomore in high school, and I was introduced to that at a sleepover.
Oh man.
If we're talking like animes that we like watched that we knew were animes from the beginning, that would have to be Ranma 1/2 actually for me.
Oh wow.
What? That was my mom's favorite when she was in college.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I had VHS recordings of the series as a kid, and we would watch them, and that we can definitely say that had an impact on me.
I was gonna say, I was like, man, that was the most trans answer I've ever heard. Like, oh man. Yeah, no, for me the first one that I knew was an anime was Naruto. Although Detective Conan maybe.
My sister loved Detective Conan.
I really enjoyed it, and I tried to go back and watch it, and it was an entire it ran so long that the episodes that I remember, like there were multiple series now, and the show I remember wasn't the one that was on streaming.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was very weird, where I'm like, we are very much forgetting the Jimmy Kudo aspect of this. Like they have like, you have just like.
I read a decent portion of it as a manga. I never watched the anime. I dropped it because I was like, the one good part of this series is the junior detective agency stuff, and you guys have like had 5 stories in like 500 chapters. You're clearly not interested in the junior detective agency stuff like I am, so I'm just gonna stop reading.
Whereas I'm like, we're
Where are the
literally.
mysteries?
Huh?
Yeah.
Where are the mysteries?
Oh no, there's plenty of mysteries, but they're all adult mysteries where where the main character has to pretend to be an adult detective by putting the adult detective to sleep and then talking behind his back. And like, yeah, that premise works for so many issues, but you can't just do it for like when I quit the series, it was already at 1,500 issues. And I was like at the 500 mark.
Yeah.
Detective Conan is literally one of the longest running mangas in history.
What is nice about it is, for me at least, is that I could literally pick up any one of them because they're very self-contained and episodic.
Yeah.
But oh yeah. I don't actually feel the compulsion to just open up, to just start from the beginning again.
Mm-hmm.
But no, what's funny is when I went to rewatch and found a totally different series, it was very focused on the junior detective agency part, such that there was a cop who got the same thing done.
Oh yeah,
to
the
her.
girl. She was, I love her. She was a great character, but they just didn't do anything with her at the beginning around when I was reading it.
Yeah. So, like, I was like, who is this? What is going on? And I'm like, why are we so focused on the junior detective agency?
I think it's very funny that, like, I have seen none of these. Some of them I was aware of. I don't live in a hole. I was aware that Naruto existed. I just refused to engage with it in any meaningful way. I kind of have a hatred and resentment for fighting animes.
That's fair.
Detective Conan's premise is that there's this teenage detective who finds out about some weird some criminal conspiracy, and they catch him, and they drug him with a poison. But the poison doesn't kill him, it instead turns him from a teenage boy detective to a, 8-year-old boy detective who has to keep his identity a secret, or else the criminal organization might realize they didn't kill him and try to finish the job. And so he lives at his childhood girlfriend's house, who doesn't know that he's a kid. He just lives at his girlfriend's house now, who have adopted him, with him telling them the lie that his parents are eccentric millionaires who have left him at their house all alone. And her dad is a cop, and so he solves mysteries by pretending that her dad is a way more impressive detective than he actually is.
Yeah, and then he wakes up and finds out that he solved the thing, and he's like, awesome!
He becomes
Oh my
famous
God, it's
as the
Carmen
sleeping detective.
It's terrible.
Sorry, you said it's like what?
It's
I was like, oh my god, it's like Carmen Sandiego.
I have never actually seen anything to do with Carmen Sandiego. All I know is the tune, and that it was apparently a game show at one point.
Yeah.
Carmen Sandiego was many things. It was a revelation. It was a revolution. It encouraged children to learn geography for generations, and it is also a really fun and boppy Netflix cartoon.
Yeah. So there's a there was where in the world is Carmen Sandiego was was an educational video game about geography, and then there was Where in Time is Carmen Sandiego, which is history.
So the hook for Carmen Sandiego is she is an international thief.
Yes.
She
Yep.
is hunted down by a shadowy government organization, and so you're playing the game to help find her. And so you're getting little clues about where she could be. Like, I'm in the largest producer of lima beans. It's absolutely wonderful. And then the cartoon is like, what if we took this concept and instead of you following the people that are hunting her, you're actually following Carmen Sandiego, the clearly superior character of this franchise.
Yeah,
I do
but
know
she
that
was.
there was
and that
a-
she's a good thief who's trying to steal from the bad group that she used to work for.
Yeah. I do know that there was, at one point, a kids reality competition show where it was like the Secret Temple or whatever, where you had teams of kids actually trying to find and track down Carmen on the game show.
That was a thing that existed. Like I said, Carmen Sandiego has been encouraging kids to learn more about the world around them for generations.
Yep, and the Netflix show at least did incorporate that. There were a lot of trivia facts every time she went to a new country.
It's a fun show. It has a really good energy.
Yeah.
And it's very low stakes.
Oh, but I think I just remembered exactly what your point was, because the cop who is following her has an assistant who is much more competent than he is.
Yes, he bumbles through life. He's like, where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? I see. I shall interrogate this loaf of bread. Meanwhile, the assistant is like, I think maybe that's her hat over there, sir. Shut up now. I am talking to the bread.
And then the chief recruits her and accurately recognizes, oh, the assistant is the brains of the operation here. So good. I only watched the first season. I enjoyed it though.
Does this skin tone look good?
trying to create
It
an olive
looks very
tone.
gray.
I'm trying to do an olive tone for being like Greek or no.
I think you need to bring some warmth into it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you can keep the olive as like the base, but you need to add like some oranges. It needs some warmth.
Yeah, that is a very good angle on it. Yeah.
Like this.
Better. Much better.
Oh yeah. Nope. I do not continue to share James Joyce. No. Get out of my head, James Joyce.
This is going to be a running joke now for you that you were haunted by James Joyce.
Yeah, I think so. Honestly, it's just like the desire to share this cursed information.
You've already shared it amongst all of us.
Oh no, I have not shared nearly enough of it.
Yeah, I learned that apparently he has quite the anal addiction.
Yeah.
I think I already knew that about James Joyce. I think I went to a weird high school, and
You read the letters?
I think I read an excerpt of some of them.
Oh my god.
I went
Yeah.
to a weird school.
Yeah, no. There are quotes from those letters in the Harley Quinn Fartacular, and it turns out that of them, of the whole letter, the line where he said that he could pick out his wife's farts out of a room full of other women farting was the cleanest part.
Well, I mean, it's not for my taste, but
Yeah, no.
most kinkery is not to my taste.
Yeah, that's
So
fair.
can I judge?
Yeah, no. Yeah, no. I'm just like, oh my god, this man. Like, I'm like, these letters were meant to be private. They should only. Why have we published them?
Well, it's
We should have let James Joyce have his privacy. This is the price of our hubris, knowing way too much about his things.
Did you ever read any of Napoleon's letters?
Oh god, no.
So okay, it's not farts, but
Okay.
Napoleon was very devoted to Josephine's musk.
Oh,
So he would, when he was on his way back, he would send her letters ahead of time, basically commanding her like, "I need you to stop bathing today.
oh
Like I will
god.
be back within a week. I need you to stop bathing today. Today is your last day."
Oh god.
Very devoted to her smell.
Oh, damn. God. Yep. Like, yeah. The worst thing is, like, so after I read first off, it was the second letter in the thing. But after I read the second letter, the first time, which is the only one I read, the next morning I open up and James Joyce is staring at me. I open up the laptop and James Joyce is staring at me. And I literally think, how bad could the rest of them be? I should read
They're
them.
incriminating you.
Yeah.
Like you have invaded my privacy.
He's like,
No, was he Irish?
yeah.
Oh gosh, I can't do an accent short notice. Never mind. I don't know why I tried.
You have invaded my privacy. I can't, not quite. I was doing an Irish accent earlier today for a table.
You have invaded my privacy.
Oh god, there we go. Yeah, no.
He's such
Literally.
a violent-looking man.
Yeah.
You invaded my
So Woodrow
privacy.
Wilson X.
You invaded my privacy.
I was doing an Irish accent earlier today because I was playing a farmer for a Pathfinder bounty for my students. A farmer, an alpaca farmer, dealing with chupacabra. Chupacabra almost killed them all.
Makes sense.
But this thing rolled only crits.
I've had that happen in a campaign.
Yeah. First, so it jumps on the jump. So it hides, it sneaks, moves up, and then next turn pounced on one guy, crit hit him, misses all the rest. Okay. Next turn, everyone's flanking him. He's like, screw it, I'm getting out of here. Moves, right, pounces on another dude, crit hits, right, knocks him out. Right. Then everyone gangs up on him again. There's 2 more people at him. One is a Ratfolk inventor who's using so inventors have overdrive as an ability that allows them to increase their damage by their intelligence score, but their primary attack was their jaws. So we were like, okay, and they were an armor artificer. Their armor inventor, rather, right? So their armor was their big thing. I'm like, how do you overclock this to give you that? And I'm like, I'm imagining just like this gorget that is giving you an increased bite strength. All right. And then when it hit, and they hit hard the first time. And then the Chupacabra attacks them. And because they're an inventor with a really high, with an armor thing, their armor is ridiculous. So I crit missed on the Ratfolk. And I'm like, I don't think I missed. I think it bit at you and bit the gorget. I think it drove its teeth into metal. It's like you're expecting something soft, and then, oh no, that is just, yeah. I'm like that. Like, I hurt myself imagining it.
Goodness me.
And so immediately after that, I used a claw attack on the next one, and murdered and crit hit them and knocked them out.
I am not
Whoa.
the biggest fan of this design I ended up with.
Also drank one of their blood, giving them quicken, and yeah. So the good news, though, is that they didn't die. The bad news is they didn't finish the module in enough time before. So I'm like, I think what happens is you flee. You run away to fight another day. You can come back and just jump past all the investigation and jump straight into fighting this thing. But you'll all be fresh. You will all have, including it. It's going to be full HP. They're going to be full HP. But yeah, it was fun today.
Glad. Sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah. Just, let's see. God. If I had known I was going to love the Absolute Universe as much as I did, I would have honestly bought them when it was when they first started. I might just end up buying the trades of the Absolute Universe as they come out, though. Because damn, they are so good.
They are so good. I'm really excited that Absolute Superman is just wrapped up. My plan is I'm waiting for the trade to come out, so that way I can buy one for my co-host and we can cover it on the podcast.
Nice.
I've been really loving it. I think Absolute Superman is my most anticipated book every single month.
Nice.
And I think we both really loved the first arc of G. Willow Wilson's Poison Ivy, and I think that it pairs really well with that. I think they're exploring sort of similar problems, just from different angles.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I love how it's how it literally starts with him. Like, a part of it is like on Krypton, he wanted to be a writer, and everyone's like, "You're not using the AI." But like the idea of like, hey, we're gonna focus on the fact that on Clark Kent as a journalist without the journalism aspect was an interesting concept. And then I like the shine you're doing on the belt there. That was really good.
Thank you.
And then there was, but like, yeah, the class solidarity aspects of that are fantastic. So apparently, Absolute Martian Manhunter got extended to a maxi.
Nice.
I heard after one issue.
That's very close to the G. Willow Wilson's Poison Ivy thing, which started as a 6-issue. Then after like 2 issues, got bumped to a 12, and then after like 6, got bumped to an ongoing.
Mm-hmm. But yeah.
Going strong to this day.
But yeah, if I had known that they were intended as minis, like that they were intended, or at least intended to have like an end to them, I probably would have actually been buying them.
Well, okay, so the first 3 are not. So the Trinity,
Yeah.
like Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, those are ongoings.
Yeah.
I think the ones that are minis are the next batch, but
Yeah.
I don't think they're minis in terms of like they're all together close storylines. I think they're minis in terms of they're testing the waters out to see if they can
Yeah.
sell more books in this line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I think they will. Like Absolute Martian Manhunter looks amazing. Absolute Flash looks fantastic. Although
Absolute Flash had wonderful energy. I just wish that I read more Flash so that I could pick up more on what they were laying down.
True. Also, every time I see, I've not seen anything like beyond the preview of it, and I'm looking at it, and I see the Mexican like background of everything, and I'm like, Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote, nice. That is the vibe I'm getting from it, which is weird. But it's an enjoyable vibe.
So he's a kid just kind of trying to find his way in the world. He's trying to find his place. And he's alone.
Yeah. But
And it had a really good depiction of like a panic attack, I thought.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, the Absolute Universe is just so yeah. Like I'm like, it's funny because none of us were excited for it.
No, I was very reserved.
Like we were all like, this is just gonna be Snyder Bro comics, and then we're like, oh god, Snyder Bros hate this, and we're like, oh my god, social commentary.
It's in a lot of ways, it's what I wanted out of like mainline comics for years in terms of it's a fresh take, it is social commentary, it's loud and proud about it.
Yeah.
You know, it's fun. It's fun to read it. What a great time to be alive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No.
Like I think this must be what it must have felt like to be alive in the 80s and to see like. For as many problems as I have with this book, I can recognize that it very much changed. It changed how comics were perceived, right? But I imagine that this is very similar to what it felt like to be a comic fan when The Dark Knight Returns was coming out.
Yeah. I'm thinking about similarly Chris Condon's book, the current Green Arrow, not an absolute book. Feels very 80s to me. Granted, I'm fairly certain the storyline literally happened in an issue of Denny O'Neil's Question Run, but as just one issue, and I'm like, we can totally do that again. It's fine. But like, it feels old in a good way. Like, yeah, I feel like I'm watching this and I'm like, I love every minute of this, and it feels like I'm like. This does not like. I'm looking at this. I'm like, I know every page is going to be glossy and everything, right? I'm like, it deserves to be on that shitty old paper that my copies of John Constantine Hellblazer are in. My Jamie Delano Hellblazer is on, you know? Like, there's this quality, like, to the art where I'm like, it's scratchy, it's rough, and it feels like it needs that. Like, where I'm like, how do I tweet? This needs to be on shitty paper without
not
sounding
in a bad
like
way.
I'm-
But not in a bad way.
Exactly.
I'm not saying this is poor quality. I am saying that it is capturing the vibe of like a moment in time that I would like to recapture by recreating the material realities of that time.
Yes.
Oh my god.
What?
I'm doing Katana next as my next piece, so I was looking up reference photos, and literally still as one of the shots in the Google image collection is a screenshot to my TikTok. My TikTok doesn't exist anymore. The video is deleted, but the picture is still on Google Images.
Yeah, well, that happens.
Yeah, internet is forever. Yeah. I'm wondering what you searched up, because I'm trying to see if it'll show up on mine. Oh wait, I'm on DuckDuckGo. That's why.
I just typed in Katana DC Comics and I was like just digging through. It wasn't one of the like on the feed. I had to like dig through it. I had to like dig through, like click on a pic and then click on a different pic, and then all of a sudden, oh look, there it is again, right there again.
All right, let's see. Yeah.
God, her original costume was like so unique and different, and they've never used it again.
I'm interested to see how you plan to do this. Like what you.
Look at this. Look at this design. Like, it is so lively. There's so much energy on here.
We're not seeing it.
I sent it in the stream chat.
Oh.
It's so lively.
Oh yeah.
I am very much not seeing this image.
It's in the stream room.
So
Like
if you
the
click
room
the
itself?
screen and then hit open chat.
Yes, it's that little balloon, talk balloon thing on the stream room.
Okay. I will say, like, it is very alive, but it's also very much of the time.
It is. I really like it though, because one, it's very much evoking the actual inspiration for what Katana is supposed to be. She's not a ninja, despite what the New 52 loves to pretend that she is. She's not a ninja. She's a samurai. They are two very different things.
Would you like to hear more about Apothecary Diaries? Because I
Go right ahead.
need to talk about this one. Okay, so the main love interest that so the entire first season, she thinks like the main love interest is a eunuch because obviously she's in the rear palace. She's confined with the concubines, right? So they're not like men who bear that genitalia are not allowed in, right? She thinks he's a eunuch the entire time, and he's like trying to flirt with her, and she's just like, "Ooh, like, I'm not into this. I'm very much not into this." And it's very funny, and like I said, like this story, it's very concerned with like emotional consequences, and so like it has a lot of very frank discussions about what it is. Like it has a lot of very frank discussions about hierarchy and class and how that affects people's ability to relate to one another.
A similar vein. I think you might enjoy you might enjoy the Iron Widow series.
It's a novel series.
Oh, series.
Yeah. So yeah, it's 2 books. The second one just came out. I don't know. Originally, it was supposed to be a duology. I don't know if that's still the case. I haven't. I just restarted the second book because I was like, you know what? I'm missing some context because it's been years since I read the first. But so it is set in a fantasy version of China in the future where
it's a mecha. It's mecha meets War of the Three Kingdoms.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's based on certain historical figures from Chinese history, but as like pilots for these huge mechas, and they are in boy-girl pairs, but often the girls are basically used as batteries, and then they die most of the time.
Oh, well, that sounds like a metaphor if I've ever heard one.
Yeah, right.
It is written by a woman, also.
Yeah.
Yes, I know. I'm
yeah.
familiar.
I was gonna say, I think they use they them pronouns, but yes, it is used by someone who still has that experience at the very least. You know, who was gendered, who spent most of their life gendered as a woman. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm like, I think they're non-binary now. But like, yeah, like it is also very anti. Biological essentialism. Like there is a level of, hey, why are women in this situation like this? She becomes an Iron Widow. Starts off with her sister was sold as a concubine to this premier pilot, the most famous pilot in there, and her family was going to get a massive compensation after she died. However, that guy just killed her and didn't use her as a battery in war. She didn't die fighting to save the world. She just was murdered by this guy. And so the main character, Wu Zichen, her plan is to get sold as a concubine to him and murder him in his sleep.
No.
However, before she can do that, this is this is a spoiler, but it is a Harry is a wizard spoiler. All right, like this is the concept. Like this is how it was always told, right? Like this is she goes on. An attack happens, and she gets. They get put into the mech, and it's like, oh crap, I'm gonna die now, and I don't get to have my revenge. And instead, she ends up using him as a battery and kills him that way.
Rock on.
And then so they're like, oh shit, that's not supposed to happen. So they partner her up with this convicted criminal who he has been set up as, he's been put into this situation as pilot because his spirit pressure, his ability to manipulate chi, is higher than anyone's has ever been. Right? But he also did kill his father and brothers. when he was 16. He's now 19. And she's been partnered with him basically to die, but they end up becoming a balanced pair, which is like the goal. Like sometimes a rare occurrence happens where you have a balanced pair and they're supposed to be this like happily ever after married couple, basically.
Right.
They do end up having that, but she also has this childhood friend who's in love with her, and it is okay.
It is
As someone who
advertised,
has-
so you can tell her about this because the writer just publicly advertises. This is a polyamorous threesome.
Yes, yes. To quote the author, it's only a love triangle if the boys kiss. It's only a love triangle if they all are together. So
Yeah, I had that whole thought when I was like, I was recently rereading the Leviathan series, and I was reading Behemoth, and they throw in a cute love triangle moment where the protagonist, who is pretending to be a boy, finds out that the guy that she's in love with has been getting really close and cozy with another girl, and only to then find out that the girl is actually interested in them because they don't realize that they're pretending to be a boy, so people are gonna think they're a boy, so a girl might have a crush on them. And it's just like, this is perfectly set up to just have it be a three-way romance between the three of you, and that they just don't.
But yeah, there's a whole thing, and it's great. Yeah, and also the mechs transform into different like forms, so they have like a more animalistic form, and then as they manipulate chi and they can turn it into higher forms, into its heroic form, which is more humanoid but has like these elements, and all the mechs are based on Greek mythology. Not Greek mythology, Chinese mythology.
Cool.
Yeah.
This does sound very fun.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just absolutely nuts, and it's great. I gotta remind myself to actually look up those things, because the problem with having it on audiobook is I don't have any of the pictures.
Oh, it does have an audiobook? I was just about to ask if there was one.
Yeah, I have both on audiobook.
Nice, because I was actually looking for a
Picture?
new...
Huh?
I love it when books have pictures. Oh, that makes me happy.
I know there was art that came that's like I don't think it has like a lot of pictures, but I know there's some like there was some official art, so I'm like,
have you read Leviathan?
I hope not.
Miranda.
Who is it by?
Scott Westerfeld.
There's a good possibility that I have read it, but it would have been in middle school or high school.
Yeah, he's a very prolific young adult to a kind of adultish sci-fi fantasy writer. Leviathan is a brilliant alternate history sci-fi fantasy book about a alternate version of World War I, where the Allied powers are called the Darwinists because they have learned to create biopunk military technology. So their warships are giant whales designed to be living ecosystems, and like they have all kinds of like genetically modified, they have messenger lizards that are capable of scaling down walls and going to somebody, and then like repeating a message to somebody. Meanwhile, the Axis powers, or they're not called the Axis powers in World War I, whatever they were called in World War I,
they were called the Entente.
The Entente, yeah. The Entente are called the Clankers because they use mechanical constructs, and it's a war of ideology between Darwinism versus Clankers, and the story is told
dual protagonist between a young girl from England whose father died in a blimp accident and has wanted to join the military to live up to her father's legacy, but she's a girl in World War I, so she has to go in Mulan style, dressed as a boy, to enter to go in and protect everything. They think her voice is squeaky because she lied about her age, not about her gender. And the other one is the son of Archduke Ferdinand, whose parents are murdered in this version of things as a conspiracy by the Germans to instigate the war in the first place, and that he is the secret chosen heir to the Austrian royal family through his his parents' illegitimate marriage being legitimized by the Pope, and him being like the secret heir to the Austrian Empire who can end the war if he can be put in power.
That's some bullshit. I love it.
Yeah, the story.
I am 90% certain I did read this in middle school though.
There's 3 books. I've only read the first 2, Leviathan and Behemoth. I still need to read the third one, because they go to Japan in the third one. The second one, they go to the Ottoman Empire. I am not the best at doing
But yeah, no. So I put the 4 art the 4 official art of the varying chrysalises in the that's what they're called. The various mechs in the chat.
I see that.
Okay, so honey, why Katana?
Oh, I love Katana. She is probably my. Was considered. I think I have other characters who I would now consider to this day my favorite characters, but a few years back, she was who I considered my favorite character in all of DC Comics. I love her so much. She's got such a cathartic emotional origin of being the widow, and there's not a word for somebody who lost a child. But her husband and her 2 children were murdered by her husband's brother, who was jealous that she chose to be with him, and not her, not the guy, even though she never wanted to be with him. He used a sword and burned their house down, killing her children in an inferno and gutting her husband. And she managed to get her hands on the sword, and the sword turns out to be a magic sword that traps the souls of its victims, so she still has the ghost of her dead husband in the sword who can talk to her. As the 2 of them go out and seek vengeance on the people responsible for their children's death and her husband's murder.
How have they not made this a movie? That's
I know.
fabulous.
I know, it's Punisher. It meets John. It's what if John Wick was a samurai-wielding woman?
What if John Wick had the ghost of his wife egging him on?
Yeah. It's so fucking good.
I didn't know she had a ghost sword. Oh my god.
Yeah, and that's not even the best part. Then she joins the Outsiders, and Batman puts her in charge of taking care of the young teenage Halo, recognizing that she has the same rage in her that he had when he first started being Batman, and that he's
like, I know just how to solve this problem. What if I give you a kid?
Well, yes, literally. He realizes that the rage he had was tempered by taking care of Robin, and it helped fill that hole inside of him. And so he gave Halo to her, hoping it would accomplish the same thing.
and it accomplished it a little too well because Katana has really bad imposter syndrome about whether or not she deserves to be Halo's mother because she's technically she's just her adoptive mother, not her biological mother.
Oh my god, Batman in the 90s.
And it's so good, and there's like they eventually find Halo's real parents, but also they find out that Halo isn't Halo. She's an alien energy being that was possessing the girl whose body she's in, and so she's technically not their parents. So Katana is really just the only one who can really be her mother, but also she has this relationship with Looker on the team because Looker ends up becoming like the fun, quirky wine aunt to Halo. And so she gets to be the fun aunt who showers Halo with gifts and like lets her drink champagne around the place, which gets under Katana's skin because she's supposed to be the mom, and so she has to be the one telling Halo, no, you can't do this. You're a kid still. You have to do kid stuff, and she feel like you're making me the bad guy because I have to be the responsible person here.
Looker obviously has to dress up as a 65-year-old British nanny. I understand this. I've seen this movie.
But yeah, so you see why this is one of my favorite characters.
That's great. That's wonderful. I didn't know all that about Katana.
She is amazing.
Every time I see her, she's always like very periphery, and it's very much just like, okay, this feels a little bit like an Asian woman stereotype, and she's just kind of here to fight. Cool.
Yeah, they've done that a couple of times with her. It's very annoying. I really hate the other history of the DC universe because they just say, oh, she was always like that. She's just a racist caricature that and everything. When no, like, yes, there is some racism in the original Outsiders book that you can address, but it's not Katana herself. It's one of the things they do is Batman gives her a secret identity so she can operate in Gotham, and he makes her in charge of a bookstore. A bookstore that exclusively sells Japanese books.
It's very much as a Bruce Wayne move. I will say that is a Bruce Wayne move.
Yeah.
Love the man. But it is very telling that he had to be told to his big dumb face that there is corruption in, like, the foster system. By a 12-year-old.
I very much love so many things. Love Bruce being proven wrong time and time again by his children.
I have a very extended headcanon attached to that, where it's like he has grown up in a very privileged position. Like, he's privileged by birth, and he's also privileged by money, both of which have created like a shell around him, which is try as he might, he does have good intentions. It's just you don't know what you don't know. So I do like the idea that like every single member of the Bat family has at some point had to have a very emotionally exhausting conversation with him, laying out like the facts of life.
It's like Stephanie's was like, I have to tell you the biological imperative does not exist, or at least does not exist for my father.
It's like everyone at some point has had to have some conversation about, Bruce, the life that you live is not the life that I live, and has nothing to do with choice.
One other detail about Katana, about her sword being a magic ghost sword that holds the souls of people, is that she can actually channel these people in her weapon. She can use them, like Pokemon. There's one time in the 2000s.
She can be like, husband, I choose you.
Exactly. Though her husband's not a warrior, so he's not exactly helpful in that context.
What if she needs help with taxes? I don't know what he did. I assume something boring.
Probably.
And that's what I'm doing this weekend. I have a long weekend because of Eid. I have Monday off because Monday is Eid. And so I'm like, what am I going to do this week? I'm like, Taxes. I need to do my taxes.
Yeah.
I
But
thought when you said I know what I'm gonna do this weekend, I thought like make a magical ghost sword.
No.
or go read The Outsiders.
I mean, right now I'm currently reading my way through Milestone Returns.
Fair enough.
After that, maybe.
But yeah, in the original Outsiders run, some bad guy, so the Yakuza get their hands on the sword and use it to summon like 5 elite assassins that were killed by the sword and use them to fight the Outsiders. And then in the 2000s, she kills Sabek, a villain of Captain Marvel, who's like a big demon guy. And then just while they're fighting Dr. Savannah, she just slams the sword on the ground, summons Sabek, and has him breathe fire on the guy.
Nice. Nice. That's damn cool.
It's really cool.
Oh god. For some reason, I'm now reminded that honestly, that power feels right out of one of my favorite horror TTRPGs ever. Don't Rest Your Head. So Don't Rest Your Head is a fantastic TTRPG that I've only rarely gotten. But the concept is you have not slept in quite some time, to the point where now where you've cracked just a little, you've gone a little bit insane, and now you have powers. Also, if you ever fall asleep again, you will lose those powers and also become a dinner bell to all the monsters you now know exist. So don't fall asleep anymore. But the way these powers work, mechanically, so you always roll 3 dice. That's your discipline. That is your ability to exert your own control over things. You can also increase your exhaustion to add one particular thing, right? That you can do really well. If it involves that, you can add a die that you now always are using, right? Because you're exhausted. To do this one particular human thing that you do supernaturally well.
Is this a Cortex game?
I have no idea.
Because this sounds like Cortex.
But the other dice pool, you can just pull whenever the hell you want, up to 6 dice. And it's your madness power. Whenever you're rolling at least one of those dice, you are using your power. So mechanically, if you end up with 6 exhaustion dice, and every dice, when you roll your dice, right, you count anything from 1 to 3 as a success. If you beat the number of successes rolled by the GM's pain dice pool, you win.
Yeah, this is a Cortex game.
Cortex game? Okay. Right. If exhaustion dominates, you add an exhaustion die. If exhaustion dominates and you have more than 6 exhaustion, and you have 6 exhaustion die, you fall asleep, and it says it would be better if your character just died. If madness dominates, you check off a response. You have 3 responses: fight or flight. You choose ahead of time what those are going to be. Check one off. Now your options are limited. If you can't check off a response, you snap, and you lose one of your discipline die and gain a permanent madness die. And they also had a book that was just full of like possible powers for this. One of my favorites was called N is for Ninja, which is you control ninjas. You control all of the ninjas, and you can summon them at will to do your bidding. And they, however, one ninja is a deadly assassin. 100 are cannon fodder. So the more ninjas you summon, the more fragile they each are. Like, you can summon 1 million ninjas, and you will lose 10,000 of them to stub toes. Or you can summon 1 ninja. That's just a elitely powerful ninja. And also, that ninja always is wearing a different color, right? So like your swarms of ninjas all wear black. Alright? But a blue ninja, they can hold their breath for a long time. Red ninjas are really good at explosives. Yellow ninjas can shoot lightning from their hands. Green ninjas can dance very well.
We all color code ourselves based on our specialties. I get it. I understand. I mean, what was it, Divergent?
Yeah, that sort of thing. There were so many good powers. One of them, another favorite was F is for fuck. Fuck is a universal intensifier. When you say fuck, everything gets more fucking intense. If it's fucking hot outside, it gets fucking hotter. Alright? So if you say my ass looks fucking hot in these jeans, then your ass might just combust, or your ass might get asked on dates. Don't worry, the rest of you get to come along as well. There were so many good ones, and then there was like some that were just horror. Like A is for anthill. The book was themed on like A is for B is for, like an alphabet book. A is for anthill was literally you have the powers of Shino from Naruto. You're a walking anthill.
I love that power.
Yeah, except when you scratch your skin, you can release the ants that are just living in you instead of your blood. And then the ants the ants, you can spread them out over the room, and anything they eat, when they come back to you, it's like you've eaten it. And you know about it. So, you can eat a person and then come back and then you feel like you've had a full meal, and also all of their memories. Yeah. I is for innards allowed you to eat anything and shit anything else out, provided it was tangentially relatable. At low levels of the power, so like you're using 1 or 2 dice, like you can eat gunpowder and shit out fireworks. High levels of the power,
you can eat thunder and crap lightning.
Yeah. So like higher level powers, higher level of it, like using 5 or 6 dice, you could eat those atomic warhead sour candies and shit out a nuclear warhead. Don't worry, your ass expands to fit the things that are coming out. Also, you can make things that are impossible, like vegan cheese that melts like real mozzarella.
That melts.
They said though, considering where it came from, I don't know who besides you is going to want to eat your miraculous ass cheese. I hope. Yeah.
Oh, vegan cheese that I know.
I've been trying. Okay, I think there is a secret for a vegan cheese that does actually melt. The problem is that the people at Tostitos are keeping it under lock and key.
This makes sense.
It would be those bastards.
I grew up dairy free for the first 10 years of my life, and so my entire childhood, every time there was a new vegan cheese, my mom would get very excited, and she'd buy it. We'd make pizza, we'd make grilled cheese sandwiches, and then she'd take one bite, and you could see her visibly deflate, as it just was not good. I think that was my entire childhood. Every time there was a new vegan cheese.
So I'm just imagine. So, what was it? Yeah, I had it unless it.
I've been trying to find.
I was thinking I was thinking the people who have that secret are definitely the people at Velveeta. I think the secret is Velveeta is not actually cheese.
No, it's plastic. I think we've established that.
Yeah, no. Like, imagine if we just reveal, hey, Velveeta's been a vegan this whole time.
I swear there's a solution here. Darcy has Crohn's and a bunch of other problems, which means she can't eat cheese. But it's specifically cheese. She can have milk. The problem is that the proteins that come from making cheese, she can't digest, which means she also can't eat most vegan cheeses because they still use those same proteins to make the cheese. They just don't have lactose in them like most like real cheese does. So I have been on the hunt, and the only time I was able to give her something that had cheese in it that didn't give her problems was when I gave her some Tostitos, those thin, foot-sized square pizzas. And I swear the cheese that they use on those things is like some sort of... Because the thing is that the cheese that they make is not actually cheese. It's a whey protein substitute. And I have tried to get my hands on it. I have talked to people who sell whey, the stuff. The problem is that they only sell it in, like, vats for mass manufacturing. They don't sell it for consumer level products. And also, they only sell it in the unprocessed form that would then go to the manufacturing plant to then process. So I went and talked to Tostitos, hey, is there any way that you can just sell me this stuff? I won't sell it to other people. I just want to be able to make it for my girlfriend because you guys have somehow created the perfect cheese substitute for people with Crohn's. I'm like, no, but we'll talk to our R&D department about trying to like make some sort of cheese thing for people.
I was very confused for quite a bit. And I realized it meant Totinos.
There's an S in there, isn't it?
No, that's Tostino. Tostinos is another company.
Okay.
So Tostitos, or no, you're saying Tostinos. I'm hearing Tostitos, which is a chip company.
Are they not the
Tostinos
same?
make pizza rolls.
I thought they were the same company.
Did you speak to like the creamery?
No, I haven't talked to a creamery.
Yeah, so if you talk to like a dairy farm or a creamery, they might be able to hook you up with like the whey at the very least.
Okay.
And then you can see if like that's what it is or if they do something different to it.
Yeah, because I looked up like a place that sold like the whey protein stuff, and it's like, yeah, we only sell this in like the vats.
Yeah, so you might want to try just general whey first to see if that's what it is or if they do something special.
Yeah.
Sorry, I lived in a magical land where there was like dairy farms and creameries and you could buy all sorts of magical things.
Alright, I gotta go to bed, so see you
Understandable.
guys. It's been good hanging out.
I also have to hop off because I have not eaten.
It's about the end of the stream. This is gonna end at around 11, so I'll just end it now.
You know?
Oh, somebody actually did show up. Oh, the music is a tad louder than all of us, so if anybody was actually here, they couldn't hear us over the music I had playing. Oops.
Fair enough.
All right. Well, have a good night.
Background music strikes again.